a story of struggles and strength. Welcome, friends. Today we will take a journey together. We will learn English through the story of a young woman who is loved around the world. Her name is Selena Gomez. Many people know her as a singer, an actress, and a star with millions of fans. They see her smile on stage, they hear her voice on the radio, and they follow her life on social media. From the outside, it looks perfect. But life is never only what we see on the outside. Behind the bright lights, there is also shadow. Behind the beautiful smile, there is also pain. Selena's life has not been easy. She has faced health problems, heartbreak, and battles inside her mind. She has cried in silence, even when the world believed she was happy. This is the contrast of her story. Outside, people see success, but inside, she often felt broken. Why do we share this story here? Because this is not only about Selena. It is also about you and me and everyone who has ever felt weak but wanted to be strong. When we learn English, when we face life, we also meet struggles. We forget words. We make mistakes. We feel small. But like Selena, we can grow stronger step by step. Her story gives us lessons, and her lessons give us hope. Think about this. Every strong person you see today was once weak. Every shining star was once in the dark. Selena Gomez teaches us that strength does not mean a life without problems. Strength means facing the problems and walking forward, even when the road feels heavy. In this story, we will move slowly and clearly. We will use simple English words so you can understand. At the same time, you will hear about Selena's life, the good, the bad, the pain, and the hope. This way, you will practice English and learn a life lesson at the same time. You will grow your language and you will grow your heart. As you listen, think about your own life. Think about times when you felt weak, when you felt that nobody understood your pain. Then remember this story. If Selena can rise, so can you. If she can face sickness, heartbreak, and doubt, then you can face your own struggles too. This is not just a lesson in English. This is a lesson in courage. It is a reminder that the outside world does not always show the truth. Real strength lives inside, where nobody can see it, but everyone can feel it. And now, let us begin. To understand Selena's strength, we must first see where she began. Early dreams and humble beginnings. Welcome, dear friends. In this section, we will go back in time. We will look at the early years of Selena Gomez, before the concerts, before the movies, before the shining fame. We will see her as a small girl in Texas, living with her young mother, and holding on to a dream that seemed too big for her little world. As you listen, you will practice English with simple words, and you will also learn that even the strongest trees start as small seeds. Selena Gomez was born in 1992 in a town called Grand Prairie, Texas. It was not a big city. It was not a place of great fame or wealth. It was a simple town with simple streets. Her family did not have much money. Her mother was only 16 years old when Selena was born. 16 is very young to be a mother. At that age, many girls are still in school, thinking about friends and hobbies. But Selena's mother had to think about work, food, and caring for her child. Life was not easy for them. Imagine a small apartment, sometimes quiet, sometimes heavy with worry. Bills to pay, food to prepare, and dreams that felt far away. Selena and her mother lived with little, but they also lived with love. Her mother, Mandy, believed in her daughter. She believed that even in small places, big dreams could grow. Selena often watched her mother perform in the theater. Mandy loved acting, and she wanted Selena to see the beauty of storytelling. Little Selena would sit in the seats, her eyes wide, her heart beating fast, thinking, one day, maybe I can stand on that stage too. In that moment, the first spark of her dream was lit. But we must understand the contrast. On one side, there was poverty, a young single mother, and a little girl with no famous name. On the other side, there was a dream that looked too big for a family so small. This is the truth of many strong people. They do not start with riches. They start with almost nothing, but inside, they carry hope. Selena's childhood was not like the movies. She did not live in a big house. She did not wear fancy clothes. She sometimes felt the pain of being different from other kids who had more. But inside her heart, she carried something more powerful than clothes or toys. She carried imagination. She played outside. She made up games. She dreamed of acting. And she learned to stay strong even when life was not soft. When Selena was 7 years old, something surprising happened. She was chosen to be on a children's show called Barney and Friends. Many children dreamed of being on TV, but few were chosen. Selena was shy, but she stepped onto the stage with the big purple dinosaur, Barney. At first it felt strange. The lights were bright, the cameras were cold, and the world seemed too big. But slowly she began to smile. She began to sing. She began to believe. Yes, I can do this. This was her first chance. But here again is the lesson of contrast. For 2 years, she enjoyed the show. Then one day, it ended. She was told she was too old for Barney and Friends. The dream that had just begun was suddenly cut short. Selena felt confused. She felt small again. This is a moment we all face. Before, excitement, new chance, bright hope. After, silence, rejection, and a door closed. Many people stop here. Many people think, maybe this dream is not for me. But Selena's story teaches us something different. Strength often begins when life says no. After Barney, Selena went to many auditions. She walked into rooms with hope and walked out with disappointment. Again and again, she heard the word no. Imagine how heavy that feels for a child. Each no is like a stone added to the heart. But Selena kept walking. Her mother told her, "Keep trying. Do not give up." And so she tried again. Here is where we can connect to English learning. Maybe you also feel the same. You study words, but then you forget. You try to speak, but you make mistakes. You feel embarrassed, and you want to stop. But remember Selena. She was rejected many times, but she kept trying. And because she kept trying, a new door slowly opened. Selena finally got a small part in a TV show. It was not a big role, just a few lines, but it was a step forward. She learned that every small chance is important. A small step can lead to a bigger road. Soon, Disney Channel saw her talent. They gave her a chance to grow. At this point, Selena was still a young girl from Texas. She was not yet the star the world would know. She was still learning, still dreaming, still building her path. But we can already see the lesson. Strength does not always appear in the middle of success. Often, strength begins quietly, in small places, with a girl sitting in a theater seat, or a child hearing no, but trying again. So, let us take this lesson for ourselves. When life feels too small, remember that small places can hold big dreams. When people tell you no, remember that every no is only a step toward the right yes. Strength often begins not with comfort, but with challenge. This is the story of Selena's early dreams and humble beginnings. A small girl, a young mother, little money, many struggles, but also hope, love, and the courage to keep going. But dreams are not easy. Every dream faces challenges. Entering the spotlight. Welcome, friends. In this part of the story, we will see Selena step into the world of lights and cameras. You will learn English with simple words as we follow her journey from a small-town girl to a young star. We will see her excitement, her fear, and the first lessons of growing under pressure. After leaving Barney and friends, Selena did not stop dreaming. She knew the world was bigger than her small town in Texas. She wanted to act, to sing, to share her talent. Her mother supported her, helping her travel to auditions. Selena was nervous. Every time she entered a new room, she felt her hands shake. The people were older, the studios were big, and the cameras were bright. It was a world very different from her quiet childhood home. Selena's first big audition after Barney was for a Disney Channel show called Wizards of Waverly Place. At first she was unsure. The lines were hard. The other actors seemed confident and experienced. She felt small, like a tiny star trying to shine in a big sky. But she remembered her mother's words. Keep trying. Believe in yourself. So she spoke, she moved, and she gave her best. This is where the contrast is clear. On one side, there was Selena, the shy girl from Texas, nervous and unsure. On the other side, there was the shining world of Hollywood, with bright lights, busy sets, and actors smiling for the cameras. Many would feel afraid, many would run away, but Selena stepped forward. She showed courage. This is the first lesson. New opportunities bring excitement, but also pressure. You must be ready to face both. Soon, Selena got small roles in Disney shows and movies. Each role was a chance to learn. She learned to remember lines, to act naturally, to perform under cameras. Every day was new. Every day brought challenges. She was learning not just acting, but how to survive in a busy, fast-moving world. She learned that fame is not only fun, it is work, discipline, and responsibility. Her life began to change slowly. Fans started noticing her. People liked her smile, her talent, her voice. Suddenly, Selena was no longer invisible in her town. She was someone people talked about. Invitations came for interviews, music videos, and photo shoots. The world she had dreamed about was opening its doors, but at the same time, the world was bigger and heavier than she imagined. Imagine this. A young girl who once played quietly in her backyard is now walking on red carpets. People watch her, take photos, and ask questions. Cameras flash, and every move is noticed. At first, it is exciting. It feels like magic. But then, the pressure grows. She must always be perfect, always smiling, always ready. It is like walking on a thin line. One step wrong, and people notice. One small mistake can feel like a big problem. Selena learned quickly that this is part of being in the spotlight. Excitement and pressure exist together. You cannot have one without the other. If you feel the joy of a new opportunity, you will also feel its challenges. And this is an important lesson for all of us, even in English learning. When you try something new, like speaking in English, you may feel happy to learn, but also nervous to make mistakes. It is normal. The key is to keep moving forward. During these years, Selena worked hard. She went to school, took acting classes, and practiced singing. She learned to wake up early and rehearse. She learned to be patient when waiting for calls from casting directors. She learned to be strong when people said no or did not notice her talent. Each challenge made her stronger, and each success gave her confidence. Despite the excitement, she sometimes felt lonely. Being young in Hollywood is not easy. Many adults around her were focused on work, not friendship. Many days she missed her family and her quiet home. She understood that success is not only fun, it brings responsibility, hard work, and sacrifices. This is part of the contrast. The outside world sees the glamour, but inside, she felt pressure and sometimes fear. Selena's story shows us that entering a new world is always a mix of joy and challenge. When doors open, be ready for both. The excitement will lift your heart, but the pressure will test it. The people who succeed are those who balance both. Selena learned to smile for the cameras while keeping her heart grounded. She also learned to celebrate small victories. Every audition, every line memorized, every smile from a fan was a step forward. These small steps, taken consistently, brought her closer to her dream. This is the next lesson for all of us. In life and learning, small wins matter. Now, Selena was on the path to Disney fame. She was growing, learning, and shining, but also feeling the weight of responsibility. The next part of her story will show how fame brings its own challenges. With success comes pressure, and pressure can feel heavy. Fame and pressure. Welcome, friends. In this section, we will explore Selena Gomez's life as she became famous. You will learn simple English while understanding that even the brightest stars have struggles. Fame is exciting, but it is also full of pressure. Selena's story shows us how to stay strong even when life seems perfect from the outside. After joining Disney Channel, Selena's career began to grow quickly. Her show, Wizards of Waverly Place, became very popular. Fans loved her character, her smile, and her charm. People all over the world started talking about her. Television shows, magazines, and websites wrote about her. She was invited to music events, award shows, and interviews. From the outside, it looked like Selena had everything. She was young, talented, and famous. But behind the cameras, life was not easy. Long hours on set meant little sleep. Early mornings and late nights became normal. She had to memorize long scripts and rehearse scenes many times. Some days she felt tired, frustrated, and overwhelmed. The pressure to be perfect every day weighed on her young shoulders. Fans and the media expected her to always smile, always look happy, and never show weakness. Imagine this, walking into a room full of flashing cameras, hundreds of people watching you, while inside your heart feels tired and heavy. Selena often felt this way. She wanted to be a good actress, a good singer, and a good friend. She wanted to please her family, her fans, and herself. Balancing all these expectations was very hard. This is the contrast of her life. On the outside, people saw smiles, fans, and cameras. On the inside, Selena felt stress, exhaustion, and worry. Fame looks perfect from far away, but it tests a person's strength in hidden ways. Many people only see the success, the awards, and the popularity. They do not see the long days, the pressure, and the fear of making mistakes. Selena also faced challenges in music. She released her first songs while filming her show. Singing on stage in front of large crowds was exciting, but also frightening. Her voice had to be perfect, her movements confident, and her presence engaging. Every performance was judged by millions of fans and critics. One small mistake could feel huge. This pressure taught her discipline and focus, but it also brought anxiety. Even acting wasn't always easy. Sometimes she had to play characters that were very different from herself. Learning lines and acting naturally while hiding her nervousness became a daily task. She wanted to do her best, but the fear of not being enough sometimes shadowed her joy. She learned that fame is not only about being seen, it is about continuing to work hard, even when no one notices the effort behind the scenes. The pressure did not stop at work. Social media brought another challenge. Every comment, like, or post could affect how Selena felt. Fans could be kind, but critics could be harsh. She read words that sometimes hurt her. Young stars often face this, and it can feel like the whole world is watching your every step. Maintaining confidence while reading both praise and criticism is very difficult, especially for a teenager. But Selena found ways to cope. She leaned on her family and friends for support. She learned to focus on what she could control: her work, her attitude, and her effort. She also learned to take small breaks when needed, to rest, and to protect her mental health. These habits were small but important. They helped her stay strong even when life felt heavy. Selena's story teaches us a lesson. Fame may look perfect, but real strength is tested in hidden ways. Life may appear easy from outside, but everyone has challenges. We cannot judge a person's happiness only by what we see. True courage is working hard, smiling, and continuing even when the heart is tired. At this stage, Selena was growing stronger. She could handle scripts, cameras, and fans, but some struggles were still private. She faced pressure, anxiety, and fatigue that the public could not see. These were tests of her inner strength. She learned that external success does not always match internal feelings. Sometimes the heart carries weight that no one can measure. Her journey in Disney taught her discipline, patience, and resilience. She learned that every achievement comes with responsibility. Fame gave her opportunities, but it also brought challenges that tested her character. She was learning that strength is not only about talent, it is about persistence, focus, and courage under pressure. And soon Selena would face struggles that no camera could hide: health challenges and lupus. Battle. Welcome, friends. In this part of the story, we will see Selena Gomez face one of the hardest challenges of her life: her health. You will learn English with simple words while understanding how strength is built, not just in the spotlight, but in private battles. This is a story of pain, courage, and hope. When Selena was in her late teens, she began to feel unwell. She was often tired, and sometimes her body hurt in ways she could not explain. At first, she tried to ignore it. She continued working on her shows, music, and performances. She smiled for fans, attended events, and kept her energy high. But inside, her body was sending signals that something was wrong. After many tests, Selena received difficult news. She was diagnosed with lupus, an autoimmune disease. Lupus causes the immune system to attack the body's own organs. For Selena, it meant fatigue, pain, and many complications. Suddenly, life became more than work and fame. It became a fight for her health. Imagine feeling weak, tired, and sick, while the world expects you to shine. The contrast in her life was clear. Outside, people saw a young, talented star performing on stage. Inside, she felt pain, exhaustion, and uncertainty. Her body was weak, but her spirit stayed strong. This is the first lesson. Strength is not about having a perfect body. Strength is about keeping your heart and mind strong, even when your body struggles. Selena had to make difficult decisions. She took breaks from work to focus on her health. She underwent treatments and many doctor visits. Some days, the pain was so strong that she could not get out of bed. Other days, she needed medications that made her feel tired and weak. She had to miss projects she loved, which was emotionally hard. But she learned to listen to her body and take care of herself. Lupus affected many parts of her life. It influenced her energy, her mood, and her ability to perform. At one point, her illness became so serious that she needed a kidney transplant. This was a major surgery and a life-changing event. The doctors explained the risks and recovery would take time. Yet Selena faced this challenge with courage. Her friend, Francia Raisa, donated a kidney to her. This act of love saved her life and gave her a second chance to continue her journey. During this time, Selena learned to value small victories. Getting out of bed, walking, laughing, and spending time with loved ones became achievements. She realized that health struggles can break us down, but they also teach us to rise again. Each step, each treatment, each day of recovery was a lesson in resilience. Her fans and the media did not see the full story. They saw her on social media, smiling in photos, performing on stage. They did not see the sleepless nights, the fear, or the hospital visits. The contrast is important. The outside world saw success, while the inside world carried pain and recovery. This shows us that we should never compare our inner struggles with someone else's outside appearance. Everyone has battles that are not visible. Selena's health journey also taught her patience. Healing was slow. Some days she felt frustrated, wishing she could return to work immediately. But she learned that recovery cannot be rushed. Listening to the body, respecting limitations, and trusting the process are essential. Strength is often quiet and invisible, built in moments of rest, not only in action. Even in the hardest times, Selena stayed motivated. She thought about her dreams, her family, her fans, and her music. These thoughts helped her stay strong. She understood that challenges do not define her, they refine her. Pain can shape a person into someone wiser, more compassionate, and more determined. Selena's story reminds us that life is not always under our control. Health struggles can appear suddenly, testing our courage. But even when the body is weak, the spirit can remain strong. With patience, support, and determination, we can face the hardest battles and continue moving forward. Through these experiences, Selena became more than a star. She became a symbol of strength and resilience. She learned that life is not only about performing in front of millions, but also about surviving in private moments, facing fear, and finding hope. But health was not her only challenge. Her heart also faced pain. Heartbreak and emotional struggles. Welcome, friends. In this section, we will learn about Selena Gomez's emotional journey. You will practice English through her story of love, heartbreak, and the strength it takes to keep going. Life is not only about health or success, it is also about the heart. And sometimes the heart faces challenges that are hard to hide. As Selena grew older, her relationships became public. Fans followed every detail of her life, every photo, every post, every appearance with someone she cared about was shared online. This attention can be exciting, but it can also be heavy. When you love someone, your feelings are private. But Selena's feelings were often watched, judged, and discussed by millions. Her first serious relationships were full of hope. She experienced the joy of love, the laughter, and the excitement of sharing her life with someone special. For a young woman, these experiences are beautiful and important. But soon, Selena learned that public relationships bring their own pressure. Every mistake, every argument, every misunderstanding was written about in headlines. Her private life became public property. Breakups were especially difficult. When a relationship ended, Selena felt sadness deeply. She cried in her room, missed her friends, and questioned her choices. But outside, she smiled. Fans and cameras saw only a confident, happy star. This is the contrast in her life. Private tears versus a public smile. Many people assume that fame protects you from pain, but it does not. Emotional struggles are part of being human, no matter who you are. Criticism from the public also added to her pain. Social media can be kind, but it can also be harsh. Some people wrote unkind things about her relationships, her choices, and even her appearance. Selena read some of these words. At first, it hurt deeply. She wondered if she could ever be good enough. The world can be loud and unkind, especially when you're in the spotlight. Despite these challenges, Selena learned an important lesson. Strength is continuing even when the world watches your pain. Life does not stop because people are watching. Tears may fall in private, but the heart can grow stronger when you keep moving forward. She learned to smile on stage, not to hide her emotions, but to show courage. Being strong does not mean feeling nothing. Being strong means continuing despite the feelings. Selena also found support in her family and close friends. They reminded her that mistakes and heartbreak are part of life. They listened when she cried, gave advice when she was unsure, and celebrated small joys when they appeared. Support from loved ones became her anchor. Even when the public criticized her, she had people who reminded her of her value and worth. Music became another way for Selena to heal. She could express her feelings through songs, letting the world hear her heart without exposing all the pain directly. Singing helped her release emotions and understand herself better. She learned that creativity can be a powerful tool for coping with heartbreak and expressing strength. During this time, Selena's emotional struggles taught her resilience. She learned that life is not always fair. Relationships can end unexpectedly. People can be unkind, and the heart can feel heavy. But resilience is about standing up after each fall. Even when she felt sad, she returned to work, continued to perform, and found new ways to grow. This shows that emotional strength is a skill, not a gift. It can be practiced, built, and strengthened over time. Selena's story teaches us that fame and love do not protect us from pain. Everyone experiences heartbreak in different ways. Some people hide it, some people share it. But the important lesson is how we respond. Do we give up or do we continue? Selena chose to continue. She cried when she needed to cry, but she also moved forward with courage and determination. This part of her life also connects to learning English. You may feel embarrassed when you make mistakes or feel shy when speaking. You may feel weak or nervous. But like Selena, you can continue. Keep practicing, keep trying, and keep believing in yourself. Strength grows when you do not stop, even when the world is watching or when challenges feel heavy. Selena's heartbreaks and emotional struggles were difficult, but they helped her grow. They prepared her for bigger challenges ahead. Her heart had been tested, and she was learning that strength is not only about health or talent. It is about courage in every part of life. When the heart is weak, the mind also struggles. Selena also battled with mental health. Mental health and inner healing. Welcome, friends. In this section, we will explore Selena Gomez's journey with mental health. You will learn English through her story of anxiety, depression, and the courage it takes to heal from within. Life is not only about fame, health, or heartbreak, it is also about the mind. And sometimes the mind needs care as much as the body. As Selena grew older, she faced challenges beyond her physical health and public life. She began to experience anxiety and depression. Some days she felt heavy, sad, or empty. Her heart and mind seemed tired, even when everything around her looked perfect. For many people, mental health struggles are invisible, and this made it harder. People assumed she was happy because she smiled in public, but inside, she sometimes felt lost and overwhelmed. At first, Selena kept quiet. She did not want to worry her fans or friends. She feared that admitting her struggles might make people see her differently. She wanted to be strong, perfect, and unbreakable. But hiding her feelings made the burden heavier. Silence and shame added to her pain. This is the contrast. Outside, people saw a confident star. Inside, she faced fear, sadness, and exhaustion. Over time, Selena learned that true strength is not hiding weakness. Real courage is asking for help when you need it. She decided to speak openly about her struggles. She shared that she had anxiety, depression, and even panic attacks. She explained that she went to therapy to learn how to cope with these feelings. This openness helped many people around the world understand that it is okay to struggle and that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Therapy became a lifeline for Selena. She learned how to understand her thoughts, manage stress, and care for her emotions. Each session taught her strategies to face anxiety, cope with depression, and regain balance in her life. Talking with a professional gave her tools to heal and strengthened her inner world. She realized that healing is not instant. It is a process that takes patience, consistency, and courage. Her decision to speak openly inspired millions. People who struggled with their own mental health saw that they were not alone. They learned that even someone famous, successful, and talented can face the same fears and sadness. Selena's courage in sharing her story created hope and understanding. She transformed personal struggle into a public lesson of resilience. This journey also showed her that self-care is not selfish. Taking time for rest, reflection, and mental health is important. She learned to say no when needed, to take breaks from work, and to prioritize her emotional well-being. These steps were small but powerful, and they taught her how to protect her mind while pursuing her dreams. The contrast in this part of her life is strong. Before, fear, shame, and silence. After, speaking out, seeking help, and healing. By being honest about her mental health, Selena discovered that vulnerability is a source of power. She realized that no one can be strong all the time, and that admitting weakness can create connection, support, and understanding. Even with challenges, Selena continued her career, but now she approached life with a new mindset. She understood that her mind needed care, just like her body. She practiced self-compassion, set boundaries, and took time to nurture herself. This gave her the ability to perform, create music, and act without being overwhelmed by anxiety or sadness. Selena's story teaches an important lesson. Inner healing is a journey, not a destination. Mental health is part of strength, and taking care of your mind is a sign of wisdom. Everyone faces moments of fear, doubt, or sadness. The key is to ask for help, speak openly, and take small steps toward healing. Through this process, Selena found a new confidence. She realized that facing mental health challenges does not make her weak. It makes her human, and by accepting herself, she became a role model for others. She showed that it is possible to shine, even after difficult inner battles. And with healing, Selena found her voice again, finding her voice through music. Welcome, friends. In this section, we will explore how Selena Gomez found her voice through music. You will practice English while learning how she transformed her pain into songs that inspire millions. Life can be difficult, but creativity can turn challenges into beauty. Selena's story shows us how to use our experiences to grow stronger. After facing health struggles, heartbreak, and mental health challenges, Selena began to pour her emotions into music. She understood that words and melodies could express feelings that were too deep for conversation. Songs became her way of healing, her way of speaking when it was hard to talk. Through music, she could tell her story and connect with people around the world. One of her most famous songs, Lose You to Love Me, was written during a time of heartbreak. In the song, Selena talks about letting go of someone who hurt her and finding herself again. The lyrics show the contrast between the old Selena, who stayed silent and sad, and the new Selena, who found strength and confidence. This song became an anthem for many people who struggled with love, loss, or self-doubt. It showed that strength can grow from pain. Another song, Who Says, delivers a message of empowerment. Selena sings about self-acceptance and believing in oneself. She reminds listeners that they are enough, no matter what others say. The contrast is clear. The Selena who once doubted herself transformed into a voice of encouragement for millions. Through music, she turned personal challenges into lessons of hope and resilience. Music also gave Selena control. In life, she had faced situations she could not always manage: health, relationships, fame. But with songs, she could express exactly what she felt. Writing lyrics and singing allowed her to understand her own heart better. It gave her power to transform pain into art and to inspire others who faced similar struggles. Performing live was another way she shared her strength. When Selena stood on stage, she sang not only for fans, but for herself. Each note carried her emotions, and each performance reminded her that her voice could heal. The audience felt her sincerity, and many people connected deeply with her story through music. The stage became a space where vulnerability met courage, and pain became beauty. Selena's songs also teach us an important lesson about life and learning. Just like music, our challenges can be transformed into growth. Pain does not have to stop us. It can be a source of creativity and motivation. Learning English, for example, may feel hard and frustrating at times. Mistakes and difficulties are part of the process. But if we persist, practice, and express ourselves, we can turn struggles into success, just like Selena did with her music. Her journey in music also strengthened her inner confidence. Writing and performing songs reminded her of her resilience. She saw that she could survive pain, express her emotions, and touch the lives of millions. This is a powerful message. Creativity allows us to transform difficulties into gifts for ourselves and for others. Through music, Selena discovered not only her talent, but also her purpose. Selena's story shows that finding your voice is not easy. It requires courage, patience, and honesty. She had to face her fears, her emotions, and her past. She had to be honest with herself and her listeners. But in doing so, she created songs that speak to the hearts of millions. Music became more than entertainment. It became a tool for healing, empowerment, and hope. The contrast between the old Selena and the new Selena is clear. The old Selena felt silence, fear, and doubt. The new Selena found her voice, courage, and power. This transformation is a lesson for everyone. Even when life feels heavy, it is possible to turn pain into purpose. Strength grows when we express ourselves, share our experiences, and help others through our own journey. Through her songs, Selena also gave hope. People who felt lonely, sad, or misunderstood could listen and feel understood. She became a symbol that struggles can be transformed into strength. Her music reminded everyone that healing is possible and that beauty can come from challenges. Selena's journey in music teaches us that art can turn pain into beauty. It shows that even the hardest experiences can inspire creativity, courage, and connection. By sharing her emotions openly, she created a voice that empowers not only herself, but millions of others. But music was not her only way of giving strength. She also gave hope to others, helping and inspiring others. Welcome, friends. In this section, we will see how Selena Gomez used her strength to help others. You will practice English while learning how kindness, charity, and care for people can make a real difference. Life is not only about success, health, or personal growth. It is also about giving and inspiring. Selena's story teaches us that true strength is shared, not only kept for ourselves. As Selena grew older, she realized that her fame gave her a special opportunity. Millions of people watched her, followed her life, and listened to her words. She could use this attention to make positive change. She understood that being famous is not only for personal gain. It can be a tool to help others and bring hope. One way she helped was through charity work. Selena supported many organizations that work for children, education, and health. She donated money, time, and energy to causes that mattered to her. She visited hospitals, spent time with children who were sick, and shared smiles with those who needed encouragement. These small acts of kindness had a big impact. People felt seen, loved, and cared for. Selena also became a strong advocate for mental health. She spoke openly about her own struggles with anxiety and depression. By sharing her story, she encouraged others to seek help and to understand that they are not alone. Many people who listened felt courage to speak about their own feelings and to ask for support. Her honesty created a community of care, understanding, and hope. The contrast in her life is clear. Some celebrities use fame only for themselves, enjoying wealth, parties, and attention. Selena chose a different path. She used fame to shine a light on important issues, to comfort others, and to inspire change. This teaches us that true strength is not only about success or talent. It is about using what we have to lift others up. Selena's kindness extended to her fans as well. She met people at concerts, read letters, and responded to messages when she could. She remembered that many of her fans struggled with the same problems she faced, feeling anxious, being bullied, or experiencing heartbreak. By listening, smiling, and encouraging them, she showed that even small gestures can give hope. Her fame became a bridge connecting her to people's hearts. Through her charity work, mental health advocacy, and everyday acts of kindness, Selena inspired millions. She showed that helping others is not always about big actions. Sometimes it is about showing love, listening carefully, or giving time. Every small act of strength shared with others adds up to a powerful impact. Her story teaches another important lesson. When we overcome challenges, we can use that strength to support others. Selena's health battles, heartbreaks, and mental struggles gave her experience and wisdom. By sharing these lessons, she helped people feel that they can also survive hardships. Strength becomes even more meaningful when it benefits not only ourselves, but those around us. Even in her busy life, Selena found ways to give back. She combined her work in music, acting, and social media with projects that make the world better. For example, she partnered with foundations to raise awareness about lupus, organ donation, and mental health. She used her influence not to gain more fame, but to educate, encourage, and inspire. Her life became a living example that true success includes helping others. Selena's journey also shows that giving is a form of healing. Helping others can bring joy, purpose, and satisfaction. When we lift someone up, we feel stronger inside. Selena experienced this personally. Every time she comforted a fan, supported a cause, or spoke honestly about mental health, she strengthened her own heart and spirit. This is a lesson for everyone. Giving and receiving strength are connected. Through these actions, Selena became more than a star. She became a symbol of hope, courage, and compassion. People admired her not only for her talent, but also for her kindness, empathy, and dedication to others. Fame used for helping others is fame that lasts, because it creates meaning and changes lives. Her story also teaches us that we all have opportunities to make a difference, no matter our age, work, or situation. Small acts of help, encouragement, and care can inspire others, just like Selena's efforts inspired millions of fans worldwide. Strength grows when shared, and it becomes a force for good. Selena's life shows a full transformation. She started as a small-town girl with dreams, faced challenges in health, heart, and mind, and finally became someone who uses her experiences to help others. She reminds us that success is not only measured by fame, awards, or wealth. It is measured by the positive impact we create in the lives of others. And through all of this, Selena was transformed. Transformation and new strength. Welcome, friends. In this section, we will see Selena Gomez as she is today. You will practice English while learning how a young girl from Texas became a strong, inspiring woman. Life is a journey, and Selena's story teaches us that real strength comes from continuing, even when the path is hard. Today, Selena is mature, confident, and focused. She continues to make music that inspires millions, sharing messages of hope, courage, and self-love. She also speaks openly about mental health, emotional well-being, and personal growth. She uses her fame not only for herself, but also to give strength and encouragement to others. The contrast between her past and present is remarkable. When she was young, Selena was a shy girl from a small town entering the busy world of Hollywood. She faced pressure, criticism, and challenges that felt heavy and overwhelming. She had to learn to perform under cameras, manage health problems, and cope with public heartbreak. Those early years tested her in ways few people could imagine. Now, Selena is strong, balanced, and inspiring. She has learned to listen to herself, prioritize her mental and physical health, and express her feelings honestly. She has faced fear, pain, and doubt, and she has transformed these experiences into wisdom and courage. This shows us an important lesson. Strength is not being perfect. Strength is being real, facing challenges, and continuing your journey. Her music reflects this transformation. The songs she creates now carry messages of empowerment, healing, and hope. Each lyric shows that she has grown through experience and is willing to share that growth with the world. She reminds listeners that struggles are part of life, but they can also be a source of strength. Her artistry is no longer only about fame. It is about connection, understanding, and inspiration. Selena's emotional growth is also visible in her public life. She has learned to balance privacy with openness. She shares personal struggles when it helps others, but she also knows when to protect herself. This balance shows maturity. She has discovered that strength is not about always being visible or perfect. It is about knowing your limits, caring for yourself, and continuing to move forward. Her health journey continues to influence her daily choices. Selena stays mindful of her physical and mental well-being. She practices self-care, attends therapy, and surrounds herself with supportive friends and family. These choices demonstrate that transformation is a continuous process. Growth is not a single event. It is a journey of learning, adapting, and strengthening every day. The contrast between her early pressures and her current balance is a lesson for everyone. A young girl forced to perform, endure criticism, and manage public life has now become a woman who acts with intention, compassion, and courage. She has learned to navigate life with wisdom, resilience, and self-respect. Her journey teaches us that struggles do not define us. They shape us into stronger, wiser individuals. Selena also continues to inspire through her advocacy and charitable work. She uses her voice to speak for mental health awareness, education, and wellness. She understands that real influence comes from helping others and making a positive difference. Her fame has become a platform not for self-interest, but for empowerment and change. This is the lesson. True strength grows when shared. Even with all her success, Selena remains humble. She remembers her early dreams, the challenges she faced, and the people who supported her. This humility is part of her strength. She knows that life is not about being perfect, but about being authentic, facing challenges honestly, and continuing to grow. Her journey reminds us that every step, every lesson, and every struggle contributes to transformation. Selena's transformation is a story of hope. It shows that even when life seems difficult, we can find ways to grow stronger, wiser, and more inspiring. Her journey teaches that challenges are not obstacles to stop us. They are opportunities to learn, adapt, and shine. She demonstrates that strength is built through persistence, self-awareness, and courage in every moment. Through her music, advocacy, and daily life, Selena has become a role model for millions. Her story reminds us that life is not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them with honesty and heart. She shows that being real, resilient, and continuing the journey is the true meaning of strength. And what can we learn from Selena's story? Lessons for us. All welcome friends. We have reached the final part of Selena Gomez's story. In this section, we will reflect on the lessons from her life. You will practice English while learning how courage, resilience, and hope can transform any struggle into strength. Selena's journey is not just about fame, it is about the human spirit. Selena's story shows us that life is full of challenges. She faced health problems, heartbreak, mental health struggles, and public pressure. At times, she felt weak, sad, and overwhelmed, but she did not give up. She found ways to heal, speak out, create music, and help others. She transformed her struggles into strength. This contrast between weakness and strength, silence and voice, despair and hope is the heart of her story. Her journey teaches us that it is okay to feel pain, fear, or sadness. Everyone has struggles, even those who appear successful. The important lesson is how we respond. Selena responded with courage, persistence, and honesty. She asked for help when needed, practiced self-care, and continued moving forward. These actions show that real strength comes from facing challenges, not avoiding them. For English learners, Selena's story is also a guide. Just as she continued through difficult times, you can continue learning and growing every day. Mistakes, struggles, and challenges are a part of learning English. They are natural and important. Like Selena, you can turn challenges into opportunities, keep practicing, and build confidence step by step. Selena also reminds us that strength grows when we help others. She shared her experiences, inspired fans, and advocated for mental health and charity. When we use our strength to lift others, our courage and resilience grow even stronger. This shows that personal growth and contribution to others are connected. As we finish her story, remember this: your struggles do not define you. Your courage, persistence, and willingness to grow do. Like Selena, you can rise above difficulties, find your voice, and inspire yourself and others. Every small step forward matters. Every act of courage, honesty, or learning adds to your strength. Keep learning English. Keep believing in yourself. Keep moving forward even when life is difficult. Challenges are not the end. They are the beginning of your growth. Selena's story shows us that no matter how hard life feels, hope, resilience, and determination can light the way. This is not the end. This is your new beginning.